What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video I'm going to be showing y'all one of the possibly, and I need to look at you when I say this, possibly the most OP tool when it comes to building in your survival worlds. So I'm in a creative world right now, and this is kind of a place where I come to tinker around with stuff. Obviously, building in creative is a lot easier. You can experiment with different block palettes and kind of get exactly what you want, get the right look with ease instead of having to go from inventory to inventory, storage system to storage system, grabbing blocks, breaking blocks. Everything is simpler in creative. And if you're anything like me, when you're making a build, you go into creative to kind of just test and see what things you're gonna like, and then you go into survival and you build it. Now, with something called the copy paste gadget, you can take that to a whole nother level, man. It is insane the things you can do with this. So, things you will need are going to be paper, a copy and paste gadget. I don't believe I have a template manager, but you are going to need a template manager. We'll go ahead and place that down here. And you're going to need this little system right here. So what this system is doing is creating us construction paste. Now, in order to get construction paste, we're going to take lapis, sand, and clay. And the way I have this set up here is I've got a input chest with some conduits. You can use item ducts with servos. I just go with the Ender IO conduit. That is going into a tier 1 crafter, and if you see here, we have a recipe saved: sand, lapis, and clay. All items in the input slots are consumed. Result of crafting operation goes to our export slot here. This crafter is then connected to a fluid transposer. This has water going into it, flowing in from underneath an aqueous accumulator. And you're going to want to take a look at this config and set it up in the same fashion that I have it. And so that is going like so. And what this is going to do is when we get that construction powder that we're making here, it's going to go into here and it becomes hardened. It goes into a pulverizer and becomes a dense chunk, and then we pulverize it again and it becomes construction paste. And finally, that is what we'll get out of this chest. So take a look at this. I'll give you a second to pause the screen and figure out how we have this configured. And then remember these configs as well. Just pause the screen and try and remember all that. And you're going to need this construction paste because what it's allowing us to do is, you can see here, we've got dark oak wood planks. It's not going to copy signs. I was doing some testing to see what it would and wouldn't copy. But this is all dark oak. And if we come over here, when we look at the block, it's actually a construction block. So that is really OP because let's go ahead and just clear this off really quick. And we got our construction, or our copy paste gadget. So what we're going to do is right click one block, and we'll go and right click our secondary block, and it'll highlight the area that it has copied. Now the next thing we're going to do is go to paste mode, and let's say I want it to be facing me, so you can go into here and rotate it. And this keybind is going to be under, let me just show y'all really quick, controls. We're going to scroll down to building gadgets, and I just use the menu. There's a lot of options for the keybinds, but you can access pretty much everything from one keybind, which is the menu. And we're going to rotate this. So let's see, do I have anything in my inventory? No. So let's do this really quick. I want to be in survival for this. So toggle game mode. So it will be simulating like you're in your survival world now. So if I try and paste that, nothing's going to happen because I don't have any blocks in my inventory. But if I come along over here and we grab some paste and we go to place it, you can see it's going to place this, and it's all construction blocks, but as they dry in the world, they become your structure. And that's very nice for doing different builds. You're not going to have to go out and farm all the resources, or find and make sure you have all the resources in your inventory. It's just going to paste your structure down. It won't do things like doors, and obviously the sign isn't there, but iron bars, fences, glass panes, anything that you would normally do to make a window. And it should be noted that if you break this stuff, it doesn't actually give you glass. It's just going to give you construction paste. So you can reclaim your paste if you would like to by breaking those. And let me just show y'all real quick how this machine works. So it's going to funnel all these items, into this. Once this is done, it's going to craft the sand. It's going to go into here, or the construction powder. It's going to become hard construction powder, dense powder stuff, and basically just copy this, and you're going to get out paste. That's what you want. So if you're making a very massive build, there's also something called a paste container. This is a tier 3 paste container. And what we can do is grab this, and if we right click with our paste container, it's going to suck up all the paste. So we have 465 paste. So let's say we were making a build that had 465 blocks. Obviously, it's going to be hard to carry that much paste. If you fill up your entire inventory and the build is still too big. With this, you can store a ton of freaking paste after you've automated a bunch of it, and you can make massive freaking builds. It's super awesome. I will say that you need to be careful. Things like doors, again, aren't going to work. Signs aren't going to work. But you have a very massive build palette or block palette when you go into creative here. We just look through all of these blocks, so many different options. Just test to make sure, do a one quick test to make sure you can actually paste that block, because some of them are a little wonky, but the end result is that you get really cool builds with the copy paste gadget. And we should also, let me show you, when you're working with stuff that's extra big, you're going to want to be able to come over here, edit placement. You can move it away from you like this, like that, and up and down. It's because when you're making really massive structures, you are going to want to be able to edit the placement, see where you're placing things, and all of that good stuff. So now with all of that out of the way, let's show you how to take it from your creative world into your survival world. So what we're going to do is, we've got this loaded up. You can see here we've got this structure. So what we'll do is copy. And this is going to copy it to our system clipboard. So if I were to hit T, Control V, it copies a bunch of code that is going to be then pasted into the gadget in our survival world. So let's go ahead and go over there really quick. So we're here in our survival world. I've got the copy paste gadget, construction paste, template manager, and paper. And we've placed these down like so. So what we're going to do is come over here, and you want to take a slice of paper, a piece of paper, and you're going to pop it right there and press paste. Now we have a template, and what we can do is take our copy paste tool from our survival world and press load. And what that's going to do is load the build that we made in creative onto this copy paste gadget. We come over here, go to paste mode, and let's rotate that so it looks at us. And you just want to pop it down, let it dry, and from right there we have our creative world build right here in our survival world. So as you can see, I've been going crazy with this thing. And let's just go into spectator mode really quick. Game mode, spectator. And you can see just how incredible some of these builds can look, man. So something that would have taken days to build in a regular survival world, I built in a single day, probably like a half day. It still took a while. I mean, building all of this in creative, like actually placing all the blocks, took forever. And then we've got a couple more builds that I've done. I took a break from all the tech and stuff and decided to do this for a couple days. It's all on the live stream that we've been doing. I stopped my Let's Play series, but I have been live streaming another Let's Play. Just a little bit easier and casual as I'm learning the pack as I go. And eventually I will finish the pack and then do a hardcore survival guide, and actually be able to guide you guys. But that's a really nice looking build. And then I also built a factory over here for our coal power plant. So very, very nice. A very cool tool, and it's one of those things, man. It really can elevate your builds, make your world look very nice, and yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. Let's go ahead and go back into survival really quick so I can show y'all the last thing, because if you are to break one of these, this isn't like you can dupe stuff with it, but if I were to break one of these blocks, you can see we just get construction paste. So none of these blocks are actually the blocks that you think they are. They are just construction paste, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to go ahead and tear this whole thing down because I don't want it. But that is going to do it for today's video. So if you guys learned anything, please be sure to hit that like button, subscribe so you can get more content like this, and I hope y'all have a great rest of y'all's day. Peace.